Hey guys, Austin from the car scene here. Today we're making another video, doing another car talk. I've actually made a car video on this previous topic. However, today we're going to be going more in depth on the topic. So you can see in front of me I have this render here of what a Dodge Challenger would look like had it been a Alfa Romeo inspired design. You can see the Alfa grille there kind of in the center, as well as the LED headlights and the inspired lower grille. And basically, I'm just going to be talking about what the Challenger Charger lineup could look like in the coming years. We all know that the Challenger and Charger are due for an update, and they have been for quite a few years. However, the parent company Fiat, their current performance lineup revolves mainly around Alfa Romeo, and so we're going to talk about what that could look like in the coming years. With that said, let's get into Austin with the car scene here. Like I said in the intro of this video, we're going to start with the Dodge Challenger. We're going to talk about everything you saw from the thumbnail. Like I said, we're going to start with the new Challenger, the current Challenger, the one that's been out for years and years and years and really needs an update. So looking at the lineup, we're going to start back at the beginning with the XXT, which is the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. We know it. Not a lot of people love it. However, if you want a Dodge Challenger, you want the look of a Dodge Challenger, it's a great option. $29,000, basically $30,000 after you add the few things that you want and pay taxes. $30,000 gets you a Challenger. However, after that, basically goes to the RT. The GT is just an upgraded SXT, gets you leather, a few of the appearance features that you want. You can also get all-wheel drive. But looking at the RT, it's going to be a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi. And then after that is the SCAT pack. You get a 6.4 liter naturally aspirated, 392 cubic inch naturally aspirated engine. And then you get the big monster 6.2 liter supercharged 707 horsepower wild animal of a car. And then you get the HELLCAT Red Eye, which is like 790 horsepower. It's insane. It's basically the HELLCAT with a little bit more oomph, and it's crazy. There are now wide body editions, which we didn't get initially, but now we have them. And this car has been running basically untouched since 2009 with a mid-cycle refresh in 2014 and slight additions like the wide bodies since. So it's fair to say that this car is old. It's fair to say that this car needs a refresh, and it's fair to say that their parent company, Fiat, probably won't spend all of their money on it. And that's not to say they won't put a lot of money into R&D and give us a new chassis. However, I don't think they're going to carry over this old Mercedes-Benz chassis. So with that said, I'm going to slide into our next point, which is going to be that this car will probably be based on something very similar to and or the Giulietta platform that they have from Alfa Romeo. Fiat is a huge company. Stellantis carries a lot of brands, a lot of different vehicles, but the main performance-oriented vehicle is this Giulietta, not just in the Quattrofoglio, but it's also the same chassis that they have all of their Maserati cars on, and those are performance cars. So it's likely that if the next Charger and Challenger come out with a new chassis, it's going to be very similar to and or exactly the Giulietta platform. So looking at their most high-performance Giulietta car, it's actually going to be the Quattrofoglio. 505 horsepower from a 3.3 or 3.0, it might be a 2.9 actually, twin turbo V6. Let me find that spec for you real quick because I don't want to be wrong on this. But yeah, it's got 505 horsepower, 443 pound-foot of torque, quad exhaust. It actually sounds pretty dope. It's pretty awesome, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's not what we're used to seeing in a Charger or Challenger, and so it's really different, to say the least. So like I said, I don't think Stellantis is going to be able to manufacture the Charger like it is now for another 5 years. I really think in 5 years we'll see a completely different car, and I think it'll look very similar to this. So speaking of that big V8, Dodge has been moving away from that V8 for a few reasons, and so have the rest of the manufacturers. Number one being economy. The EPA is really pushing away from these large naturally aspirated engines in consumer vehicles. Now, it's changed a little bit on the consumer side, from the commercial side, but on the consumer side of engines, they don't like large displacement. They're taxing it through the nose. They're, just making it damn near impossible to make a profit on those large engines. And so one of the things that Stellantis, mainly Ram, has been doing is actually offering this e-torque system on a lot of the V8 options. It's not quite in the Charger or Challenger yet, but in the Ram truck specifically, they're offering e-torque, which is like a mild hybrid electrified option, which basically just allows them to kind of scoot around the EPA fees and say that they're being green or making a push towards electrification, which honestly, like, it's a real cheap way. It really doesn't improve fuel economy that much. It really doesn't save the environment at all. It's literally just something to say that they are offering the electrified technology. Now, one thing I will say that they have offered, once again, a sad attempt at making an electrified vehicle, is the Jeep Wrangler 4xe. It's their electrified Jeep Wrangler. It's pretty decent for what it is. I think it's got like 53 miles of range, so it's not a range monster. You're not going to drive this thing like a Tesla or like any other electric vehicle. You're going to plug it in, drive it around a little bit, and then you're going to end up using gas for the rest of your journey. But it's definitely a push towards electrification, and I really think that we can expect it in the next generation of Charger and Challenger, simply because, number one, it's going to get them out of the EPA fees, and number two, it's going to attract a much broader audience for them. Right now, the Dodge Charger, especially the Challenger, really have that muscle reputation, that muscle consumer base, very similar to Harley Davidson, which I'll go over that in a minute. But you're going to be able to widen the customer base of the Charger and Challenger platform if you offer some electrification. It'll no longer be the people who just want a muscle car or the people who want a big, fast family sedan. It can actually be for people who like electric cars, which is really becoming a larger and larger market as the EV platform and charging base grow more and more and get more popular. With that said, speaking of Harley Davidson, they launched the Livewire a few years ago, which was their all-electric motorcycle, and no one bought it. And part of that is they expected it to be something that sold a lot of units, when in reality, it's a very bespoke thing. I think they sold like 2,000 units a year for the 3 years that they ran it, and they expected to sell like 15,000 units a year. And so it's really important when a brand makes an electrification move like this, like they did with the Wrangler, they don't expect it to be a large seller. And I don't think they expected that for the 4xe. I think they're only building 4,000 units a year, which is pretty accurate. I mean, most people aren't going to get an electric car that gets 50 miles of range. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, where are you going to drive that and still be all electric? You're not. So that's why it's an electrified hybrid that still uses some gas components, or actually does use mainly gas components. But it's really important that when we talk about electrification, we're making a big distinction between whether we're talking all electric or hybrid electric or mild hybrid. Like, there's a lot of things that go into play when it comes to that electrification nameplate. But yeah, I really think that the Dodge Challenger and Charger are going to have an interesting future, and I definitely think we're going to see a lot of change. 2022 is going to be a super interesting year for vehicle releases. 2023 is going to be equally interesting. COVID really put the car market behind 2 years, and so we're seeing car releases left and right all over the place. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the next Charger, whether you as a consumer would like to see the Juliet platform in the States, or if you would prefer to have an updated version of that Mercedes-Benz chassis, which I don't think they'll do, because it's just a huge deal to try and make that chassis modern. However, they might still spend the money and do it just to please the buyers like you and I. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, so we're going to try and come out with videos every single day, similar to this one, if not our car walk-around videos, which, by the way, you should also check out. But like I said, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.